The predicted heavy rainfall over parts of the western half of the Eastern Cape arrived overnight. In fact, the South African Weather Service updated its warning for disruptive rain to level 5 for the Nelson Mandela Bay metro, due to many areas still being waterlogged after localized flooding last month. SABC News reporter Kim Daniels is watching developments on the ground and joins us now live from Gqeberha this morning. And Kim, it's really one problem to the next for parts of where you are. It seems communities in the Eastern Cape simply can't catch a break.
Yeah, it definitely has been one disaster after the next, but as you mentioned, the rain started late last night and is still carrying on throughout the day today, and it is quite worrying for some of the residents, especially those living in the low-lying areas where flooding often occurs. As you have mentioned, at about 2-3 weeks ago, we had the last flooding episode here, and then in June, the rains also devastated parts of the Nelson Mandela Bay metro. A JOC has been set up, and I'm actually joined now by our brand new mayor, Ms. Lubishe. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. You guys set up the JOC this morning. What was discussed? What is the way forward as we see the rain is coming down quite heavily now?
Thank you very much. What has been discussed today is how we integrate the services to the people so that the distressed areas are taken care of. And part of what we are noting today is that there are many flooded areas within the western side of town, Yowoma Deep, and a number of them. But we are going to implement road closures whilst we are trying to remove the water in those areas. And as well, Yomeke Street is still challenged. We've just agreed that we will have to try and switch off electricity, because we don't want the same thing to happen where our substations are affected by water and there are days without electricity. We are working very hard to find what is the blockage at Meke and Budaza Street, as this affects a large portion of Ward 19. And we want to request the residents to bear with us, because we are trying to find the latest technology to even find a camera that's going to look at the pipeline in terms of what is the blockage, so that residents don't find themselves having to experience those blockages. But we've met with all the stakeholders. Your social development is here, the army and ESCOM. There are areas, about 9 areas, that are affected by shutdown of electricity, especially in Utnek, your Rosedale area, Kwanobuhle, Khayelitsha, they are affected. So we've commissioned ESCOM to be part of our team, so that restoration of electricity is done earlier than it would have been possible if we are alone. We are aware that Kleinskol and Ward 40, there are areas that are still battling with water, even houses. We will be sending the suckers. We've divided ourselves with the standing committee members of safety, Troika members and the former MMCs to go to the areas so that there's accountability. We will be meeting around 2 and as well at 6 o'clock in the evening for feedback sessions, so that we can make sure that no one is left unattended. But I must also say, today we are supposed to sit a council meeting. We are postponing that council meeting. We can't be sitting on a council meeting when our people need us nearer to them. And with the announcements of mayoral committee members, which I know you are itching to get that, will be done at a later stage, because service delivery is happening. Even without such, there's commitment by all party leaders to join us to salvage the situation. Thank you.
According to weather experts, the rains that we're experiencing now won't be as bad as those we experienced towards the end of October, now 2-3 weeks ago. Are we expecting evacuations? If we do evacuate people, is the municipality ready to house them and, to keep them safe from the harsh weather conditions?
Yes, the rains are not expected to be that much, but one would understand that just a few days back, the land is still wet, so it's prone to have those that particular impact. But we are going to open the halls for those that are in the worst conditions to be assisted. And for those who slept without food, because there are families, it's still less than 50 people that have reported such, but we are attending to them with hot meals this morning.
And Maya, just lastly, very quickly, you did mention some blockages, drains that have been blocked, and this was attributed to the reason why we've been experiencing so many flooding episodes. As you mentioned, some drains are still blocked, but are there other areas in which the municipality has been successful in unblocking these drains so that the water doesn't push up again?
Yes, there are success stories like your warmer area. It's not as bad as it normally is when there are floods, because we've dedicated time to clean the drains. Part of Youth NAIC, we've started yesterday within the Angola area, going towards the greater part of KwaNobuhle. So we're not expecting them to be in dire conditions. KwaZakhele, Yomeke area, we've started, but then the overflow from Dambuza Street, it flows to Meke. Hence we are saying there has to be further investigation, because last week there has been a lot of work that was done to try and salvage the whole of KwaZakhele. So we are expecting that the picture might not be as bad as last week, but we plead with our people not to take chances to cross the roads and when they see water, because we don't want any fatalities.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you for your time. Oh, that's just the mayor saying that although the rain isn't expected to be as bad as the episodes we've experienced in the past, or the recent past rather, they are prepared and they are ready for whatever may happen. Also, just a word of warning to the residents to be careful when crossing streets, especially those who are flooded, and also to be aware that many of the roads are closed because of the rains that are falling. But all the updates are on the municipality's Facebook page for the residents, just to see and make sure that they are safe on the roads, whether they are driving or walking. But from us here in Gqeberha, it's back to you in studio.
All right, Kim Daniels, thanks very much indeed. Hopefully the situation does improve at the very least, given, as we've mentioned, the extent of the damage already suffered. Kim Daniels, as you've heard, there's live to us there from Gqeberha in the Eastern Cape.